I think what's been able to carry the day for Democrats across the country is that we have spectacular candidates who were inspired by the Women's March, were inspired by other things to get engaged and be out there. I mean, Manka Dhingra is perhaps one of the best examples of that. She'd never run before, and she hit the ground running, and she's doing a spectacular job as the senator in District 45. And as a result of her presence, we were able to break the logjam here in the issue of voting rights.
Right. But on some other issues, now turning to the legislature, you know, Democrats have full majority of state government, but some of the most progressive legislation has stalled, including the governor's big push for a carbon tax. That bill finally died last week. It didn't have the votes in the state Senate. It never made it to the House. So, and then there's death penalty ban legislation that also has died, and enhanced background checks on assault weapons, which appears stalled. It's kind of clinging to life support following the shooting tragedy. It was revived following the shooting tragedy in Florida. But for Democrats wondering why are some of those progressive measures stalling despite a new majority in the state legislature?
Well, progress doesn't always occur overnight with the snap of a finger and with one election. I'm a big fan of Governor Inslee. I think he has really done so many things. I support his efforts, for instance, on the carbon tax. I think Washington State can really set a great example for America. And I live in Maryland, and I look at some of the most important legislative accomplishments that I worked on when I was in state government. They didn't happen overnight, and I worked in a government where we had a Democratic governor and we had Democratic majorities in both the House and the Senate. Majorities that were actually far greater than here in Washington State. And it took time, because a lot of the changes that were being put forth were significant changes from what the status quo is. And so every session is a process of educating constituents, educating members, persuading members. So I'm confident. I'm heartened by what happened in the voting context. I'm disappointed in other contexts, but I'm not deterred in any way, shape, or form, because I've seen in many state houses the arc of progress, and you don't get everything done at once, and politics is about persistence.